Mask!
Villain transformations. Look, good guys are cool and all, and we had our fun ranking every superhero suit up, but now let's look at the villains. Infinitely more complex, and way more interesting when turning into their evil alter egos. So today, we're ranking every villain transformation and suit up ever put on screen. In total, there are 30 spots, with each one ranking somewhere in between. Now, some villains are beyond help, but it gets a bit tricky because some of the other ones aren't really that bad. Electro's just misunderstood, Loki does a complete 180, and although he bites people's heads off, Venom's got a heart of gold. But for this video, I'm calling them villains, so we can all enjoy their awesome transformation scenes. And without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. Darth Vader! You can't deny he's had some badass moments, like that, and that, and that, and that. But when we got to see his origin in Revenge of the Sith, it was a little amusing. It's kind of impressive what they managed to do here, turning him from a mythical figure of the dark side into a goofy-ass meme. I guess it's cool seeing him mentally crush these robots, but the more they showed, the less cool he became. So for this unforgivable massacre of Darth Vader's street cred, I'm gonna start by banishing this suit up to last place. MODOK! At the end of the first movie, Darren Cross is crumpled into a ball of metal and flesh. I was like, damn, he ain't gonna be in Ant-Man 3. But I was wrong, because in Quantumania, he returned in the form of MODOK, a mechanized organism designed only for
MODOK. Oh, I get it. It's an acronym.
Marvel. Sometimes you could just let a moment play out. He explains how he got stranded in the quantum realm until Kang's barely animated CG henchmen find him. We see his itty-bitty MODOK booty until he's enclosed in the laziest suit ever designed. I'll never forgive this movie for taking away Luis's stories, and also for fumbling a villain introduction this bad. 29, and stay there. Sinestro! In the long line of mid-credits that ended up going nowhere, Sinestro takes the cake. Whoa, buddy, what are you doing with that ring? Sure, it's ominous and foreboding, but I can't put it that high, when this is pretty much all they did. Wait a second. Done. Number 28, obviously. Magneto! Played to perfection by Ian McKellen. Oh, this malevolent magnetic madman is always thinking 3 steps ahead. He posed a formidable threat in the original run of X-Men movies, but in First Class, it was Michael Fassbender's turn.
Eric, I believe.
What the hell is this? Looks like he's getting his class photo taken on the first day of school. All hunched over, the suit 3 sizes too big. How did we go from such a badass introduction to this as his final moment? And they knew it looked dumb, because this outfit was never seen again. This shot was pretty badass in Days of Future Past, but I gotta put him at 27. I'm sorry I don't make the rules. Well, actually I do. Catwoman! Now, you could argue if the character is good or bad, but in this movie, it was definitely bad. Halle Berry plays Patience Phillips, a graphic designer working for a shady cosmetics company. After finding out that their new product has dangerous side effects, she's flushed away like a piece of poo and turns into a cat. I don't even. She gains the powers of CGI face, gratuitous close-ups, and incoherent editing.
It was me you flushed down the pipes.
Damn, she ain't gonna be in Catwoman 3. And the transformation itself, not the best we've ever seen. We're putting this hot mess at 26. Red Skull. As a Hydra fortress teeters on the brink of destruction, Captain America comes face to face with Hugo Weaving, aka the Red Skull. Aww. Despite this being one of the grosser moments in the MCU, probably traumatizing a lot more kids than we all realize, they nailed it with the aesthetic. I could've used some sinewy stuff between the 2 layers. It is a bit dry looking, and the reveal would've been great if he just stopped there. But he goes on to pick at the smaller piece on the back of his head, that it kind of deflates the tension of the moment. Am I reading too much into this one shot? Maybe. 25. Who's next? Hulk King. She-Hulk broke the Marvel mold by daring to be different, and while some of it worked, most of it didn't. Like, what the f was this? In the last episode of the first season, we see the antagonist of the show, Todd, inject himself with Hulk blood. I like the clever ways the show broke the fourth wall, like coming out of the Disney Plus menu or walking around the actual Disney Studios lot. But the constant cutting back to Jennifer asking if this is really what's happening.
What is even happening here? None of these storylines make any sense.
Just reminded me how messy all the subplots became, and it all made this transformation feel a little unnecessary. So for that, I'll place him at 24. Poison Ivy. Batman and Robin had an interesting trio of villains. There was Mr. Freeze, Bane, who kinda did a Captain America if you think about it, and after Lionel Luthor splashes her with toxic chemicals, we're introduced to Poison Ivy. Kamala? It's funny how yet another 90s movie shows us that with glasses, you're an ugly nerd and people don't mind if you're dead. But once they're off, you're suddenly super hot. She claims her first victim with a venom kiss, and later in the movie, we see her true form. With the entire city of Gotham under her spell, what's the first thing this seductive supervillain gonna say?
Hi there.
Smooth. I'm putting this nerd at 23. Bebop and Rocksteady. Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows brought to life all our fan-favorite characters. Casey Jones, Krang, and of course, these two guys.
What is happening to us?
I don't know, but this feels great!
They become the human embodiment of a rhino and
Oh, I'm a little piggy.
a little piggy. As far as transformation scenes go, this one was pretty solid. You got the spinning camera move, you got the body parts morphing, but it's a little seizure-inducing with all the flashing lights. And you can feel the VFX budget shrink every time they cut back to the human characters. I don't gotta know what April is doing during all this.
My man!
I'm putting these two idiots at 22. Killmonger. Few things in life are as guaranteed as Marvel tropes. The three-point landing, people getting stabbed and being totally okay, and a showdown in the third act with a hero and a villain who pretty much looks just like them. So after we got a sense of what T'Challa looks like suiting up, we see Killmonger do the same exact thing.
Come on.
This plays a bit better though because it's in broad daylight, but the coolness factor is instantly washed away by the rubbery CGI fight. He did come back in the last half with a banger of a line.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage.
Damn. Killmonger secures a spot at 21. Black Manta. After Aquaman leaves Black Manta and his father to die, kinda messed up if you think about it. It starts him on the path of darkness, which eventually leads him to make his very own super suit. It's interesting seeing him combine Atlantean tech with his own ingenuity. After a ton of trial and error, we get to see the result of all his hard work. Seeing him go toe-to-toe with the God of the Seas in this newly decked-out battle gear, pretty fun. Number 20, let's keep going. Winter Soldier. In the opening scene of Civil War, we catch up with the guy, and he is not well. He didn't really say that. Compared to the grand and expensive transformations we've seen over the years, having him just sit in a chair while a Russian guy reads from a book doesn't seem like much on paper, but it's pretty horrific witnessing him turn into a monster against his will. So for this uniquely psychological transformation, I'm gonna give him a spot at number 19. Electro. After Sony learned their lesson putting too many villains into one movie. Oh, no, wait. After Sony learned their lesson putting too many villains into one. Oh, no. After Sony learned their. Okay, that one actually worked. Max was an interesting case of scorned nerd turned bad guy. After falling into a vat of eels, he gets free tooth alignment. Hey! The transformation gives us Spider-Man's electrical enemy. The scene that follows is pretty great for establishing his newfound powers, and also what a misunderstood outcast he is. You can't help but feel sorry for the guy, so for combining cool effects with some character development, let's put him at 18. Who's next? Titan and Megamind. I struggled a bit deciding who I should talk about here. Megamind starts as the villain, conjuring plans of world domination, and I just wouldn't feel right without mentioning his Black Mamba suit-up. But as the story progresses, the true evil emerges.
You've been blessed with unfathomable power.
What kind of power?
Unfathomable. It's without fathom.
Who would have thought Jonah Hill playing a bumbling idiot infused with superpowers and transforming into a psychopath would be so effective? When a romantic nighttime flight goes wrong, Hal forever turns into Titan. For this unique duo of loser turned villain and villain turned hero, I'll give these guys a spot at number 17. Hela! After Odin departs this earthly realm, Thor and Loki come face to face with their long-lost sister. It looks simple what's happening here, but it's not easy making all her hair disappear. The helmet and the spikes come on, and to have all this happen, especially after she turns Mjolnir into blue cheese crumbles, you really get a sense of Hela's immense power. Carte Blanche's sex appeal, combined with a simple but memorable transformation, places Hela at number 16. Absorbing Man. Ang Lee's Hulk was one weird-ass movie. Something we hadn't yet seen, and probably something we'll never see again. The live-action comic book panels, that one mutant poodle, but perhaps the strangest thing of all was Nick Nolte huffing fumes and using an emboss filter to gain absorbing powers. But it doesn't stop there. He can even become pure energy. The transformation scenes in this movie were all pretty memorable, from Bruce turning into Hulk, and from the Hulk turning back into Bruce. But this scene deserves some love too. The sound design for this shot is nuts. I'm putting this one at 15. Edgar! On a quiet night in upstate New York, a UFO crashes into a field, and a man named Edgar gets a little too close for his own good. Even though you can't see any of it, the sound effects alone make your imagination run wild. Oh, God! Through disgusting makeup and clever acting, MIB really made us believe that a giant cockroach wore a human as a skin suit.
Like this?
The way Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones slowly look up really sells the alien scale. 20 years later in MIB International, we saw an updated version. Edgar's crawling his way to number 14. Joker! No, the good Joker. Yes, that one. Arthur Fleck, a lonely and tortured soul, slowly descends into madness until finally climbing into a fridge. Can someone tell me why he did that? I still don't know why he did that. After seeing him beat down and ridiculed for the entire movie, it felt downright cathartic, seeing him in his final form as the Joker. Who knew Joaquin Phoenix had moves like these? Get it, get it, get it! The suit, the makeup, flicking the cigarette. This scene was life-changing. You know who probably hated it though? The people who live near these stairs in real life, who have to deal with this for the rest of their lives. Oh well, let's put Joker at 13. Green Goblin. This ruthless, cackling madman could only have been played by the GOAT, Willem Dafoe, a man so talented that anything he does instantly becomes a meme. So on a dark night at Oscorp Industries, Norman Osborn begins his villainous transformation. Well, I guess I'm cleaning that up. Winter Soldier proved that you don't need fancy CGI to create a memorable transformation sequence. And this part, where he switches back and forth from Norman to Green Goblin, proves why he's the best in the biz.
What do you want? To say what you won't. To do what you can't.
Almost 20 years later in No Way Home, and my man still got it.
That's some neat trick. That sense of yours.
Norman?
Norman's on sabbatical, honey.
For Amazing Spider-Man 2, Dane DeHaan gave his spin on it. Cementing the character at number 12. The Scarlet Witch. let me take you back to WandaVision. Wanda Maximoff simply wanted a family, and in order to get it, she just had to enslave an entire town with a mass delusion. No biggie. In the final episode, after absorbing Agatha Harkness's powers, I am never getting over how stupid this looked. She becomes the infamous and feared Scarlet Witch. After an entire season being manipulated by her supposed friend, it was satisfying to see Wanda using her own tricks against her. And while other Disney Plus Marvel shows might cut away a bit too quickly, it was great having this moment breathe a little. Let's give her a nice little spot at number 11. Spot! Hey, remember that guy Miles nailed with a bagel back in the first movie? Oh, he's back, and spottier than ever. It was cool seeing him peek into some of the different worlds of the Spider-Verse in order to get a better grasp of his power. And in a movie full of colorful imagery,
Let me guess. He died?
this black and white origin story was pretty refreshing. Shout out to the animators staying up for months to bring us something we've never seen before. You guys are the real heroes. And you're getting a spot at number 10. Loki. The God of Mischief has had a pretty compelling journey, hasn't he? From his villainous turn in the first Avengers, giving us this ghostly, streaky suit up. Don't forget to flip a card to show you mean business. All his wacky adventures through the TVA, getting smacked in slow motion, finding out everything is a lie, witnessing his own death, falling in love with his variant, time slipping, and ultimately sacrificing himself for those he loves. This one sequence is probably where half the show's budget went. And since this is most likely the last we'll be seeing of Loki, you can tell Tom Hiddleston is giving it his all. Finally, Marvel understands you need wind to sell a big moment like this. The Marvels, Monica Rambeau. Gonna plop him right here at number 9. Voldemort. You guys don't understand. In 2005, seeing him on screen was an event. I love the fire effects, how wet and slimy he looked, his translucent skin barely holding in his insides. My man be looking like a spring roll, and the way the black smoke became his robes, absolutely genius. Even in this close-up, he's still going through changes, like his lips forming over his teeth. It's a lot of subtle things happening all at once that make this transformation one of the absolute best. So I'm putting He Who Must Not Be Named at number 8. Turbo. In the past few years, Disney's been a little too obsessed with their twist villains. Yep, yes, right. Oh yeah, that guy, the little sheep too. Yeah. You get the picture. But in Wreck-It Ralph, the reveal of Turbo was something else.
Is that? No way!
Who are you?
I'm Turbo, the greatest racer ever!
All along the way, the movie had been subtly feeding us hints of Turbo's existence, but not enough to start questioning things. So when we finally saw King Candy's true form, it didn't just make sense, it was shocking. And if you step through his glitching, you'll catch some pretty disturbing frames. Like this. Oh, I'm not sleeping tonight. When he's swallowed by a cybug and turns into this.
Look at that, it's your little friend. Let's watch her die together, shall we?
No!
This is a Disney movie, right? For a downright traumatizing experience, I'm giving Turbo the number 7 spot. Mystique. In the X-Men universe, there's no villain more versatile than this blue-skinned chameleon, and the very first time we see her in action goes like this. Seeing every flake on her body morph into place was mesmerizing back in the year 2000. For the rest of the series, anytime she was on screen was a visual treat. Whether she was played for laughs or for action, she always knew how to work the audience. We later went from Rebecca Romijn to Jennifer Lawrence, but the transformations stayed flaky as ever.
Whoa!
For the sheer volume of transformation scenes over decades of X-Men films, let's put her at number 6. Enchantress. Before Cara Delevingne won an Oscar for Valerian, she starred as June Moon, a pretty stupid archaeologist. But the dumbest thing she ever did was crack open this ancient artifact, releasing a stinky hot garbage lady called the Enchantress. Now, anytime Amanda Waller asks, June is forced to bring her out.
Enchantress.
Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
Whoever came up with this idea needs a raise, because I haven't seen anything in the DCU come close in terms of creativity. The contrast of clean and proper with dirty and rotten, the embers floating around, execution is absolutely flawless. So for this simple yet effective transformation, I'm giving it number 5. Megatron. In the spinning and sweaty world of Michael Bay's Transformers, we meet a lot of interesting characters. There's Megan Fox, Shia LaBeouf, Tyrese was doing something, but who cares about the humans? We all bought tickets to see those robots in disguise. And while the Autobots are led by the regal and noble Optimus Prime, the Decepticons follow the one and only Megatron.
Scheduled contact is ID'd and cleared.
Cold? Are you? Look, you gotta remember it was 2007. Transformers transforming made the world go round, and no one put a stank on it like Megatron. Also, I'm gonna give him extra credit for this moment.
Disgusting.
A spot at number 4? Let's go Venom. I don't know what Raimi was going for in the scene exactly, but what was supposed to be scary kind of felt sexual. And when the transformation is complete, we end up with this guy. But after going through his emo phase and blessing us with this masterpiece, get it, get it, get it, he says goodbye to the symbiote, only for it to latch onto none other than Eddie Brock. It's raw, it's powerful. I love how the CG goo is actually pulling down the corners of his mouth. 10 years later, the role went to Tom Hardy, and when he wasn't taking baths in lobster tanks, he was Venom.
Mask!
Copy.
What the hell is that thing?
None of this should have worked, but magically, it did. And if you were wondering how it could get any grosser, look no further than Carnage.
Hands on your head!
Which, hands?
The squishy sound effects, the hypnotic CGI, all earn a top spot at number 3. Sandman. After Flint Marko outruns multiple cops, punches a German Shepherd in the face, and climbs over a barbed wire fence, he then stumbles into a hole. And when he gets to his feet, we see the beginnings of a very sandy transformation. But that's not all, because the very next morning, he's reborn as Sandman. It's like me getting off the toilet after Chipotle. You would think 3 minutes of watching sand would be boring, but no, 46 million views. People love it. The somber music, how you can tell exactly what he's feeling without ever speaking a word. It was beautiful and poetic. 2 words that don't usually describe villain transformations. So for all that, this sandy son of a bitch is getting a well-deserved spot at number 2. And now, it's time for the winner. Duck Cock. When Dr. Otto Octavius loses control of his fusion experiment, dumbass, his inhibitor chip gets fried, sending him straight to the hospital, where we see him transform, even though he's unconscious, from a good man to a cold-blooded monster. Now, to analyze why this all worked, let's start from the top. The first thing Raimi did right was set up the environment so we understand the space and just how many people are about to get murdered.
Anybody here take shop class?
Shop class. Gary, you crazy for that one. The whirring saw reminds me of going to the dentist, and I know we all hate that. This wind just adds that extra bit of flair that brings the scene to life. And this next shot? Spider-Man background extras can sometimes be a little hard to predict. Where you go? So it's fascinating to see everyone here understand the assignment and react correctly to the timing of everything. This one with the goggles looks back at this arm, while the lady on the right whips her head to look at this one. This arm hits the light that sends everyone into a panic. It's a perfect marriage of live action with CGI, one without the other, and you might get this.
We could rebuild, enlarge the containment field, make it...
For everything that's happening here, people flying all over the place, it's impressive that not once do you feel like they're being pulled on wires. Movies today can't even get that right. What is that? Come on. And there's always so much happening in every shot. It really feels like these arms have minds of their own. And now you notice the absence of any music, that all we've been hearing so far are just sound effects and screaming. Kinda reminds me of that one part with all the bugs in King Kong. And even though the highway fight in No Way Home was cool and all, the heavy use of CGI makes you appreciate it when people can fight off real arms. It makes it all the more believable, and gives small moments like this much more dramatic weight. Otto realizes that after this, there's no going back, that he's finally become Doc Ock. So at the end of it all, he claims his place at number 1. And there you go. After ranking every superhero suit up in my last video, I hope you had fun today helping me give villains the spotlight, to look back at all the different ways they've transformed and suited up over the years. We truly are lucky as comic book fans and movie lovers to have seen them all. Did I miss anyone? Let me know. And if you'd have ranked any transformation differently, let me know that too. Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.